It's Wednesday night. It's August 24th, 2022. Welcome to another episode of the Kicking Out Podcast. I'm Tanner Lee. My co-host Paul Zartman's across from me on the computer screen, and we're waiting for the arrival of the KOP Predictions Champion, Austin Shepard. Paul, how's it going?
Well, doing better than the KOP Predictions Champion because I'm here on time. But no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I was gonna say, are we though? Because neither of us have the belt over our shoulders. So I mean,
you know what? Yeah, I'm just about to just deem myself the interim champion.
Yeah, might as well, right? AEW loves to use the term and tech interim. So, and we'll get into that in a little bit. But
yes,
Austin is the undisputed KLP Predictions Champion, and now we have an undisputed AEW World Heavyweight Champion in Jon Moxley tonight. 5
minutes or less.
Wow. Didn't see that coming.
I did not either. I actually went to the bathroom. I'm like, okay,
it's
yeah, I know. This happened to me the entire time Hangman was fighting for a championship. And then I did it again. I was like, you know what? There's no way this gets over in 5 minutes. I'm good. I'm going to. Oh, yeah, never mind.
Well, when Shivani was interviewing United Empire and the Death Triangle backstage and said this was going to be tonight's main event, I'm like, wait, hold up. Did I hear that right? So the Moxley, Punk, huge match, arguably one of the biggest matches in AEW history, isn't going to be ending tonight's show. Something screwy is going to happen. Mm-hmm. And in a way it did, but it's something I don't think many, if any of us, could have predicted.
No, I did not see that coming at all. I was still, until the bell rang and Mox was declared champion, I thought we were going to end in a double DQ.
I thought double DQ. I thought maybe a returning MJF interferes and gets himself in the title picture. I thought something big was going to happen, and something big did happen. It was just... Yeah. I hadn't felt that surprised in a quote-unquote squash match since Bill Goldberg's return match to WWE Survivor Series against Brock Lesnar a couple of years back.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it reminded me. Like, I mean, they panned the fans in the crowd and a lot of shocked faces. And it's like, Twitter's blown up. Like, what is going on? Did Punk really re-injure his foot? Did he, is it a work? I think we're getting worked.
I think so. Yeah, I think it's just setting up for something else. I think Punk is just one of those guys that he went, I had, mind you, it wasn't very long. I had a championship run in front of fans. Moxley didn't. Moxley deserves that. I'm going to give it to him.
Yeah, and it could be, honestly, that Punk is still not recovered, and this was a way to get the title off of him.
Could be.
I mean, it just depends. I do think when he comes back, I mean, I don't think he's hanging his boots up. I don't think he's quitting AEW. I mean, maybe it's not all sunshine, rainbows, and roses, but that happens in professional wrestling. I don't care what company or promotion you're with. That happens backstage. But I think when we do see him again, maybe it's time for a heel CM Punk. Even though we never really got the babyface Summer of Punk title run we all thought we were going to get when he beat Hangman Double or Nothing.
Yeah, I think he comes back, takes a little bit more time. I think, okay, I see here I'm torn. I think it's a work, but I think he's still not 100% yet. So this gives him a chance to go ahead and take a little bit more time off. Because, you didn't want to go into all out with the interim champion defending. So,
yeah. I mean,
at least not the main champion.
But it makes Moxley look great. Moxley looks strong. Moxley looked like the man, maybe not only in AEW, but professional wrestling. And I'm just intrigued now. I'm even more intrigued for next Sunday's All Out. I mean, we're a go-home Dynamite away from the pay-per-view, and we don't know who Moxley's going to be defending the title against.
I'm better than you, and you know it.
Man, I don't know. Could be. I mean, besides him, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you can't move Hangman back into it right now, because if you give that clue, then it's guaranteed that Dark Order's not winning anything in the trios, which it's Dark Order. So, but um, so I just who else if it's not him? Seriously.
Yeah, I mean, Adam Cole's on the shelf, it looks like, and when he comes back, he's going to be involved in a whole different storyline. So,
Yep.
I don't know, unless Punk, it's a work and he wants a rematch. I don't know. I mean, I'm just really intrigued, and I think that's why Tony Khan booked this the way he did, even though it sounded like John Moxley was the one begging for this to be on tonight instead of on All Out.
Well, because Moxley said, okay, hey, you know, some people aren't going to be able to order the pay-per-view. Let's give it to them for free.
Well, and if this was the plan for the match all along, that wouldn't have went over well on pay-per-view. It wouldn't have went over well to close the show tonight. That's why they put in a 9 o'clock time slot.
That's why they moved it. That's why I think it was booked. It was going to be the main event. I think Mox was still going to go over, but I think something happened between last Wednesday and 8:15 tonight.
And it definitely could have. I mean, there's a lot of things going on backstage. All I can say is, you know, Paul and I are just fans. We're not scoopers. We're not insiders. We're not journalists.
No.
So we subscribe to Fightful Select for $5 a month, and I recommend you do too, because Sean Ross Sapp and his team over there, they keep you up to date with the latest going on backstage.
Yeah, they know people.
Yes, they have sources, legit
Yes,
good
do.
sources. So
Yes, they do. So, all right. I guess we should probably actually dive into the rest of the show instead of
we
just
might as
talking
well.
about Mox.
We might as well. I wanted to cover the big elephant in the room first.
Well, and again, we'll hit on it more once we get to that title shot on the show tonight.
Let's do it.
All right. Stablemates Jericho and Daniel Garcia are set to meet face to face in the ring tonight. Show kicks off with that happening. He brings out Daniel Garcia. He basically tells him, you know, you need to apologize. Garcia goes on and on about how Danielson is his hero. He appreciates the chance to wrestle with him. He goes, you know, I wanted to shake his hand regardless of whether you wanted to call me a sports entertainer or a wrestler. I had this opportunity and I wanted to shake his hand. And Jericho, you took that away from me. It pisses me off. And Danielson comes down, pretty much says, hey, I don't care what anybody says. You're a wrestler. And they kind of go back and forth a little bit. And then it led to, Garcia. Lost where I was at in my notes. It led to Garcia saying, look, I can't make the decision tonight, so I will do it later. And Jericho gets mad about it. Garcia pushes Jericho down. Danielson says, you know, I'm not a big fan of sports entertainment, but that was pretty entertaining. And that sets up those two going back and forth a little bit. Jericho talking about how he is the Lionheart. He is the last survivor of Stu Hart's dungeon, and he could wrestle him. And they end up setting up a match for All Out, which props to you. You called that last week.
Yes. Right when I saw that, I almost texted you guys and said, hey, I was right.
Yeah,
it was. I'm intrigued. Once again, I'm going to use that word a lot tonight, by the way. I'm intrigued for this matchup. I think this is only the. Let me see. I tweeted it tonight. Or Sean Ross Sapp tweeted. I retweeted. I want to see how many times these guys have faced. It's not very many.
In their 15 years of being around each other.
Right. Let's see here. They've only had 2 televised singles matches and none since 2013. So first time in 9 years.
Yeah.
So it's two different guys than they were 9 years ago. So it's going to be good.
Yeah.
It's going to be good. And, of course, you got Daniel Garcia there. If I had to guess, Garcia's got to side one way or the other. Mm-hmm. And I think he sides with JAS as a sports entertainer for now, for a little longer.
You don't think he turns quite yet?
Not yet. I think, him putting his hands on Jericho twice or 2 weeks in a row, that's going to lead everybody to believe that he's turning face with Danielson, but not quite yet.
All right.
His introduction to the Blackpool Combat Club and eventual tag team with the Wheeler Yuta will have to wait for a little longer.
Oh, you think that's where they're going to go? You don't think we'll see the House of Dragon?
Could, but man, I think Garcia and Yuta would be so entertaining together.
Oh, they would. I agree with you. All right. Up next, we get Jay Lethal versus Dax Harwood. This was a good back and forth match. Comes down to Harwood going for a roll up. Lethal reverses, grabs the trunks to get the win.
Very good technical match, back and forth. Crowd was loving it. And props to the Cleveland crowd tonight. They were pretty hot all night long. We got a "This is awesome" chant. And I figured
jersey right front and center in front of the camera. Loved it.
Yeah. Guardians.
No, it said Indians.
I know it did.
You let me have my moment.
I am, and I will later too. When we get to the women's match. But no, good match. I thought Dax would go over. I mean, he continues to build his case why he could be considered the wrestler of the year for 2022. But two guys who are really underrated in the ring. So good match.
Post-match, Dunn says that he said it would be a trios match at All Out, but didn't say who would be on his team. And then it's revealed by Lethal, or that Lethal will be partnered with Motor City Machine Guns.
Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin. Man, oh man. Them against FTR would be a dream match within itself, but you throw in Wardlow in there and Lethal. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Didn't see that coming. The crowd got a big pop. So I wonder what DLTK and Impact are working on there. Yeah, Scott D'Amore over there. I was blanking on the name. So
yeah, who knows? It'll be interesting to see if anything comes from it.
Well, now I'm on board for this match. Last week I was crapping all over it because I thought it was going to be Satnam Singh, Sanjay Dutt, and Jay Lethal versus FTR and Wardlow. I'm like, this is what we're doing with the hottest tag team in the world and the TNT champ. But now put one of the other greatest tag teams of all time, at least in the last decade, the Motor City Machine Guns in there. All right. All right, I'll pay for that.
Yeah. So will I. I was trying to look for the graphic before I brought up this next segment here, but I can't seem to find it, and it's frustrating me. So I will go on to just do the segment. Up next, we get some breaking news on the AEW Women's Championship. As soon as they cut backstage, I could tell Thunder Rosa was in tears, and I knew where it was going. And I went,
we've seen this too many times in professional wrestling this year. Way too many times. Yep.
Interim Women's Championship again. Well, interim championship again. She's unable to compete, and so therefore she says that she will not be defending against Toni Storm at All Out, and we get informed that there will be a four-way match for the AEW Women's Interim Championship.
Hikaru Shida, Jamie Hayter, Dr. Britt Baker, and Toni Storm.
There, you had all the names. That's why I was looking for the graphic.
I knew what you're doing. I knew I had it, so I was right. I had your back there, but that will be an interesting one. Right when I saw that, I'm like, all right, that's gonna be a fun match. But gosh dang it, I'm not looking forward to predicting that one in the predictions next week because those four ways are hard to put a lot of confidence points on.
Again, I am glad I'm not involved in this time.
I will not
say that very often.
It's going to be an interesting one. And heck, as of right now, and who knows what's going to happen next Wednesday, we might not have a World Heavyweight Championship match to predict for our pick-em. So
no. Yeah. Now, do you think we're going to see what happened when we got interim TBS or TNT champions, where the belt's going to change looks, or do you think they'll stay with the look of these two belts?
Are we talking? Which two are we talking?
World Heavyweight and Women's.
I think they keep the look of these. I think the TNT, for whatever reason, they just wanted to try to personalize it to each person, and it was a cluster.
Yeah. And then, of course, you've got out of all the belts, the only two belts that haven't changed looks since they debuted were the tag team and the world heavyweight now. And TBS.
Yeah.
I forget about the TBS.
Because we don't see it on TV. Drives me nuts.
No,
you have one of your top talents in the company, not just in the women's division, and you put her on Rampage more times than not. Just irritates the heck out of me.
Until Athena beats her.
I think she goes into 2023.
You think so?
Spoiler for my picks next week.
Okay.
Assuming that we get her and Athena at All Out. We haven't announced yet, but it's got to be directions they're going.
I guess we could find out between now and next Wednesday. Up next, we head to Colton Gunn versus Billy Gunn.
And I was hoping Shep would be on when we were talking about this, because I want to ask both of you this, and maybe you know off the top of your head, when was the last time before tonight we've got a father versus son match in professional wrestling?
Oh man,
the only one that comes to my mind, and I gotta think we've had one since, and I'm just forgetting about it. The only one that comes to my mind is WrestleMania 17, Vince versus Shane.
I think that's it.
Man.
And
then if anybody's watching out there or listening, please comment and let us know when's the last time before tonight we've had a father versus son match in professional wrestling. Any promotion. I just can't think off the top of my head besides WrestleMania 17, that street fight, like I said, Vince and Shane.
Right. Yeah, see, all I'm seeing are when I look it up, I'm just seeing like father-son moments.
Right.
Not actual matches. So I think that's it right there.
Wow.
Yeah. Because, Dominic and Rey Mysterio haven't fought each other.
Nope.
Do we want to count son-in-law and father-in-law?
No, we could do that, but no.
So yeah, I think it might be Vince and Shane.
That's pretty incredible if you think about it. Almost 2 decades. Over 2 decades, yeah.
Yeah. I can't find anything other than that. So yeah, if somebody knows, please let us know. Even if you've got to send us a message on Twitter at Kicking Out Pod, let us know.
Please.
So we get into Colton Gunn versus Billy Gunn. They come down with what's his face?
Stokely Hathaway.
Thank you. Can never remember his name.
He's becoming a big part of the show every week. So
yeah, it's finally. I see it in my notes now. I wasn't down far enough. But the Acclaim comes down, making reference to today's AEW talent meeting. Talks about some other very interesting stuff that
Biden and student loans.
Yeah.
What a pop they got, though. Man, the crowd, big pop.
I'm just saying, I have student loans, and I am very grateful for that right now. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, I think a majority of people are that have them, yes.
Colton hits the Colt 45 to pick up the win on the Acclaimed. After the match, Stokely hands Gun Club his business cards, and they seemingly accept the offer, even though I thought we already did that last week. But post-match, they begin a post-match attack until the AEW Tag Team Champions arrive, which sends them running. And Shivani is then shown with backstage Aussie Open and Will Ospreay and Death Triangle, as Will Ospreay says they have one mission, which is more gold. Pat claims they've been waiting far too long for this opportunity. They've decided they're not going to kill them. They're going to murder them. Yeah,
so we saw Stokely get involved. He hit Max Caster outside with the boombox, and then Austin Gunn took out Anthony Bowens. That led to ref distraction. That led to Colton Gunn hitting Billy with the low blow, and then the Colt 45, like you said. After the match, they beat down the Acclaimed and Billy, and then, like you said, the swerve in their glory came down to make the save. But Stokely Hathaway gave the Gun Club business cards, and they took it. So now that's 4 clients that I'm counting: Lee Moriarty, Ethan Page, Austin, and Colton Gunn. So pretty interesting.
That makes a faction.
What he's building there is pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know. Again, didn't we see it last week, though, where he handed them the business cards and they took it?
I couldn't remember if they took it or not, but tonight definitely.
Because I thought that's why they turned on their dad.
Tonight definitely, I think, signified that.
Yeah.
I still would love for a storyline to come full circle. I don't know if he's healthy enough to, but I want to see Big Paul White get back in it and team with Billy against these guys, because we still don't know why they turned on him a year ago.
So I'm guessing you haven't seen that yet, have you? Regarding Paul White.
I just saw him in a video game today.
Depends on which one. Fight Forever or AEW?
Fight Forever, yeah.
Well, he was interviewed recently, and he made it known that Tony Khan has bought the rights to the name Captain Insano.
Yeah, I knew they filed for the trademark like last year to use in a video game. So,
no, according to Paul White, there's talk about him going on a run as Captain Insano as his final run.
Sign me up for it. Why not? Why not?
We got to figure out why the Waterboy was such a big fan.
I need to go back and watch that movie, because I was listening to a podcast today and somebody said, and I liked the Waterboy, at least last time I watched it. They said they watched it for the first time in years and it just didn't live up to what they remembered it being. So I need to go back and watch it. But
Me too. I actually, Congo Kong told my son to go watch Waterboy, so we've
there you
got to
go.
do that.
You got to do that. So, and as far as the backstage promo with Shivani with United Empire and Death Triangle, it was just Pac and Will Ospreay going back and forth like I figured it would be. So
Yep. And that's when they announced that it'll be the main event tonight instead of Co.
That's when I tweeted. I'm like, did I hear that right? And everybody's like, yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Just
you
checking.
did.
Just checking.
Up next, a extremely hated woman tonight. Dr. Britt Baker took on Kylen King. Kylen is from Ohio, and Britt Baker is obviously a Pittsburgh fan, and Cleveland hates Pittsburgh, so that worked out pretty well for her.
Big old Pittsburgh sucks chant from the crowd, and I know Paul was grinning ear to ear on that one.
Yes, I was. I almost started chanting it, but I'm like, nobody at my house is going to know why I'm chanting this, so we're good. Baker comes out of the gate strong with a sling blade. She follows it by attacking King in the corner, but she avoids the next attack with a sharp kick to the stomach. She tries to charge into the corner, but Baker slams on the brakes and drops King down across her knee before yanking her opponent by the arms while pushing her face onto the steel ring post. Baker looks to go for a stomp, but King baits her in and then hits a big boot before throwing her across the ring. She then slams Baker down again, but the former champion is able to kick out. Britt then sends King into the turnbuckle and follows up with a thrust kick, another shot, and then a stomp. Following that, Baker sets up the lockjaw in order to secure the victory.
Yeah, no, the result was never in doubt, but I like seeing Kylen King on Dynamite 2 weeks in a row. Good for her. This was some heat carried over from Dark Elevation.
Yep.
No, fine. I was fine with this. I mean, if that's going to be your lone match of the night for the women, okay. Crowd was into it, of course, hating on Britt, and then we saw Hater and Rebel come out afterwards, and then Tony Storm and
I was just getting ready to get to
Akira
that.
Shida come down and clear out the ring, and that's your tag match next week. Britt and Jamie versus Shida and Tony Storm. So.
Yep. Well, you beat me to the punch there.
I'm just going right off my head without any notes. So.
After the match, Baker gets on the mic, says she wrestled her entire title run with a broken wrist because that is what a champion does. She then says Tony Storm will finally be on a pay-per-view when someone gives a damn, and she's in the ring with her, and that leads to Storm marching to the ring, only for Jamie Hayter to appear from behind to attack her. Rebel comes down with the terrible towel, the oversized, ugly, nasty, terrible towel that needs to be lit on fire. But anyway, they start attacking Tony Storm, and then Akira Shida appears to make the save, running off the heels with her kendo stick, an all-white kendo stick this week.
Yeah, it's first time we've seen Sheeta on Dynamite in quite a while. Feels like, at least.
Yeah. She went out with an injury. They came back on Rampage or Dark and made her way back over to TV. But as you said, we'll see them in a tag match next week, and then at All Out, it'll be Tony Storm versus Akira Shida versus Britt Baker versus Jamie Hayter for the interim AEW World Championship match.
And eventually Thunder Rosa will come back and
challenge,
I assume, the winner of that match, unless she's out for quite a while and the title changes hands again between that time.
Right. Which, so far, interims haven't really lost anything. So
no.
I mean, they've lost matches, but not title matches.
Right.
I mean, I'm sitting here looking at this, and I'm not involved, so I can say this now. I think it's going to Tony Storm. She's the only one, or she's who was originally supposed to face her. It makes sense.
It kind of feels like it's her time. It really does. Even before the Thunder Rosa's injury, it feels like she's been in a lot of high-profile matches as of late, getting a lot of W's. So I think you're on the right track there.
Akira Shida's former champ, Baker's former champ, Hayter's not quite there yet. It just makes sense.
I kind of feel if they don't pull the trigger on Tony or Jamie, then they really missed out here.
Yes. I'm good with either one of those winning it. I don't want to see Baker as champ again, and I'm not ready to see Shida as champ again.
Yeah, they'll both have their time again, I'm sure, but let's not do it now.
Oh, yeah. Right. Then we head backstage as Shivani is with the AEW Tag Champions and the Acclaimed. They don't, the tag team champs say they don't mind saving them, and they don't exactly love the Acclaimed. Keith Lee says they saved them because they think they'd be worthy opponents at All Out. Max Caster says they don't need help as they're the best homegrown team in AEW, which I loved them bringing that up. And Bowen says that All Out, they're taking the titles.
You know, we kind of hinted last week, we were trying to think, who's going to face Swerve in Their Glory if it's not FTR? Well, I like the Acclaimed being in there, and I even like the idea of maybe a three-way tag match with the Gun Club in there as well, but I don't think you do that. I think you just have the Acclaimed versus Swerve in Their Glory, and that should be a fun one. Crowd will be hot for that, and I'm not going to spoil my pick on that one just yet. I almost did.
Well, this is why I'm glad I'm not in it, because I said we're not going to see tag gold on the pay-per-view because we're getting the trios belts. Whoops.
Yeah, no, I think we're going to get all the gold. I think they're going to stack this card as well as they can. I think there's definitely been some changes in plans the last few weeks, but you got to roll with it.
Yep. Up next, it's time for the co-main event. Jon Moxley versus CM Punk for the AEW World Championship Unification match. What's there to say here? 5 minutes. Moxley hits a devastating kick. We're just going to say that. Right to the foot. Punk's done. End of story. Moxley is the undisputed AEW World Champion.
You mean Punk hit the kick? Because Punk hit the kick.
Punk hit the kick.
That's what I heard. And then Moxley landed in some elbows, and then hit two paradigm shifts. So.
Yeah. Moxley connects with the headbutt. Punk responds with the roundhouse kick. Immediately goes down, starts selling his foot injury. Doctor appears. Punk walks into a King Kong lariat and then classic elbows to the head, and then we get into the paradigm shifts. 1, 2, 3. That's it.
Mox celebrates with the crowd. Punk looks sad after medical assistance helps him to the back. So
yeah,
intriguing. Where's this gonna go?
I don't know. I have some thoughts, but like I said, I feel you've got to bring MJF back at this point.
If I had the pencil.
Oh, I know.
I wait till the 21st of September, Grand Slam.
that would make sense. But okay, so who do you have Moxley defend against?
I know. You almost can't. You can't bring in somebody from another company. I don't think as a
No,
one-off
not at
unless
this
it's
point.
an absolutely huge name. Yeah, I don't know because in the rankings, I think everybody in the top 5, I believe, off the top of my head, has matches already. I don't know.
It's Cody. I'm kidding. Making his heel return, Cody Rhodes.
Way to break the internet there, Paul.
Yeah. I can only imagine the messages we're going to get from that. And again, I am completely kidding. I know it's not Cody.
I
It'll
don't
be
know.
Owen Hart before it'll be Cody.
Oh my. Oh my. Oh, well, I'm just going to gloss over that one. Wow. Yeah, I don't know. But
Fine, it'll be Triple H before it'll be Cody.
I mean, if it's okay, fair. If it's that was better. If we do MJF though, do you have him return next Wednesday, or do you wait and have people try to buy the pay-per-view with suspense? I mean, I feel like you have to advertise that ahead of time.
Well, okay. All right. Maybe he doesn't come back because the Casino Battle Royal ladder match or whatever it's called is returning at All Out. And they say returning, it's been at every pay-per-view, but
the Joker always wins.
Yeah. So do you have MJF come in as the Joker? And then challenge later that night?
Could. Yeah, see, this is why Tony did what he did tonight. It's got everybody questioning, everybody talking. This is why he did it.
Yeah.
And he's sure, a lot of people are going to rip on him, but I think it's genius what he did tonight.
Oh, absolutely. I wasn't for it, but then again, after seeing how it went down, okay, you got my full attention now, TK.
There's a lot more to the story. I mean, that's we gotta see how it all pans out.
Yep. We go backstage now to Tony Schiavone, who seems to be spending more time backstage than on commentary here lately. He's backstage with Christian Cage in his villain look.
Turtleneck.
Yeah. And purple jacket, was it this week?
Yeah, purple or dark shade of something.
Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, Cage says that Jungle Boy will never be as smart as him. He says he has seen it all and done it all. Claims that All Out Jungle Boy will see why he's not in his league as he accepts the challenge. I like the shot at, you've got time still to apologize for costing us the titles.
Yeah,
like,
really? I like that. I liked his shot at Cleveland about being average. He likes to do that every town they go to or city, bring up something about them to get the cheap heat.
Hey, we're number 1 in our league right now.
Yes, you guys are number 1 in AL Central. And football season hasn't started just yet. So
the Browns are still number 1.
Number 1 in quarterback suspensions.
Hey, I was going to say number 1 at being the worst team in NFL history. So,
well, you and the Lions can fight that one out, but no, I think this is honestly the best out of all the matches on the card so far. This is by far the best build they've had for a match.
Yeah.
These two.
Oh, by far, yeah.
I'm pretty confident in who I'm going to pick, but I think the build's been fun.
Yeah. Up next, we see Ricky Starks make his way to the ring. And he talks about how he's upset about Team Taz being over, the factory. Why he brought up the factory, I don't get. Powerhouse Hobbs turning on him. He's got veterans saying this is showbiz, but he thought he'd be the exception, as Hobbs would ring him every day last year when he broke his neck. While he says Hobbs was the background player until he brought him to his table in his sparkly little shirt as Britt Baker's security. If he found a spot, he made sure it was big enough for both of them. Stark says Hobbs hit him in the neck, and he knows he was close to losing all of this again. He considered him a friend, but now he considers him a snake, and where he's from, you cut the head off of snakes. And he tells Hobbs to fight him at All Out, And shortly after that, we find out that it's confirmed we will see that happen.
That could be the show stealer of the night. Ricky Starks doesn't miss. Guy doesn't miss in the ring, doesn't miss on the mic. Push him to the moon. He's awesome. He speaks from the heart, makes it real.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm Tony Khan, I push him to the moon. I make him no way that he's wants to go to WWE, because I think that's one, when his contract comes up, watch for the WWE interest, because his good buddy Cody Rhodes will be in Triple H's ear. That's one I think they definitely got their eye on.
Probably already is.
Oh, maybe that's one they're trying to tamper with. Who knows? But that's a whole nother story. But I think that's one I could potentially see him leaving just because of his bond with Cody.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm AEW, I push him to where he can't make that decision.
Oh, yeah. And don't even, jump him right into championship.
No, you don't have to do that.
Let him just dominate. And then, give him the TNT championship. Let him hold that. Let him drop that. And then go for the world heavyweight.
Yeah, crowd's got to love him as a babyface. So just keep doing what you're doing. It's working.
Exactly. We go backstage with Moxley as he goes on to say, it's his time. My time is now. This is my time. John Cena is here and you can't see me, basically. He again points out the terrible fact of interim champion. He was and is not just some guy, but he is the guy in this industry. Good little promo. This is my time was said way too many times. I kept waiting for the whole or something Cena related.
I kept waiting for him to drop a hint somewhere in there about who the next challenger might be, if someone I could pick up on. He gave me nothing.
Well, yeah, but he looked away a couple different times as if there was somebody that he was watching.
I think it's just John being John, kind of all over the place and passionate, and he is the man right now. He's got to get a nice title run with the crowd, so he deserves it.
Time.
He deserves it.
Yep. All right. It's time for the main event. World Trios Championship Tournament match. United Empire versus Death Triangle. I was excited for this because, again, I like Will Ospreay. He's extremely talented. What was it? 18 matches in the last 30 days.
He's a workhorse. He is a workhorse.
Yeah, and he's not done yet. And I'm sure Warrior Wrestling is gearing up for another event. I'm sure he'll be a part of that, as he loves to be at Warrior Wrestling, it seems. But anyway, I digress.
I love the way this match started.
Oh, man. 30 seconds in, and I was already worn out because Ospreay and Phoenix were just back and forth, counter after counter after counter. Man, I was done.
No, it's, that's why I was looking forward to this match. I mean, Ospreay against all three of those guys.
Yes.
Take my money.
Exactly. I'm going to try to follow along on notes here, but there is so much on this match.
Yeah, cut it down if you need to.
Yeah, well, can we talk about Pac for a second?
Sure.
Towards the end of the match there, as he went to do something off of the top rope, but Ospreay gets pulled out, so he just scoots himself back to the ring post and launches himself. Holy crap.
Yeah, there was a couple holy crap moments, but that was the major one of the match.
Yeah. But and then he locks eyes with Kip Sabian.
Finally.
And then he takes the box off of Kip's head because he's fed up and realizes it's just some kid who's been apparently held hostage. The kid's been beat up. He's got duct tape on his mouth and I think even all around his wrists. So not Kip Sabian. Instead, Kip Sabian attacks Pac from behind, drops Pac to the floor. Back inside the ring, Davis hits a huge lariat to Phoenix as Penta is taken out, and Ospreay connects with the Os Cutter that is assisted to advance and win the match.
yes, we're gonna get Pac and Kip Sabian for the
All Atlantic.
All Atlantic title. I always want to say All Pacific, and I know that's not right. The All
Right?
Atlantic
It
title.
was the other way.
Yeah, which I'm good. I mean, at least good for Kip. I mean, he's been off TV for darn near 2 years. It feels like.
Yeah. Dude looked good.
Yeah, I mean and they've built this overseas a little bit, and I'm perfectly fine with it.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be a good match. I got a feeling I know who's going to win that match.
Me too.
Unfortunately. But, man, that assisted Os Cutter was great to end that match.
I love that move. Love that move.
Yeah, I mean, this was one of those matches, if you looked away from the TV, you missed it.
Yeah, I had to run down to my basement for
set up your equipment?
No. I did that before that match. About 2 minutes to do. I think I pulled some laundry out of the dryer or something, and I came back and I'm like, well, I'm sure I missed a lot, but
you did.
But they gave this match so much time that there's plenty of action to see.
Exactly. Just watch 3 minutes of this match, and it's just going to be nonstop action.
High flying athleticism.
Oh yeah. And then post match, Kenny's music hits, which I love hearing that, so I'm good.
Yes.
The Elite, Kenny and the Bucks appear and kind of stare each other down. Ospreay was ready to go. Kenny was too.
Oh, he and Kenny have been feuding on podcasts and Twitter for months. So, beautiful all leading up to this. Beautiful.
I went. Well, let's go back to when I said when Ospreay used the one-winged angel and then forced the opponent to kick out. I said, all right, here's a feud that's not going to end well.
Yep.
And here we are today, and hey, it's just getting better.
And I love that we're getting them encountering, even if it's in a trios match, but I do hope down the road we get them in singles action.
Oh, I think we're going to, because no matter who wins this match next week, it's on free television. That's number one. It's on free television. But whoever wins it's going to go on record saying, ha, I beat you. And the other one's going to fire back with, no, it was a trios match. I wasn't even involved in the pinfall, because Kenny or Ospreay will not get pinned.
No, Kenny's pinning somebody else next week.
Oh, yeah. Okay, glad we're on the same page here.
At least not losing that match. It's going to be the Elite and Dark Order. It's written all over it. Heyman's going to be the surprise guy against the House of Black Friday. I'm just rattling off. Miro's going to cost House of Black. That's how you're going to get Miro and Malachi all out. There you go. Give me the pencil, TK. Give me the pencil. Let's mark it all up.
Oh, I'm good with any of that, so we're fine here. But yeah, I think it's going to come down to I was torn between House of Black and Dark Order, but I can do the Dark Order thing.
Or if people don't want to get on the Miro versus Malachi, okay, then you have Miro, Sting, and Darby versus House of Black all out.
Okay.
There's your option B.
All right. That one makes more sense. It's TK. It's Sting.
Okay, how about this? How about we get Malachi versus Miro, and then a tag team match of Darby and Sting versus Brody King and Buddy Matthews? That'd be fun.
That'd be fun, but that's 2 matches then.
I know, but he likes to stack his cards with like 10 to 12 matches. So,
well, yeah, except the last one that had 9.
Yeah, well, I'm surprised he hadn't thrown in. I'm surprised he hadn't thrown an ROH, and it's not too late. An ROH title match anywhere in there.
No, we're getting one of those on Rampage
Friday. Dustin against Claudio. That'll be fun.
Yep.
No way Claudio loses, but that'll be fun.
No, Claudio's not losing. Sorry, Dustin.
We also get another title match. Ryan Nemeth and Wardlow.
Yeah. Again, we know where that's going.
Mixed gender tag match. Tay Mello, which is her
married name,
and Sammy Guevara versus Ortiz and Ruby Soho.
The Guevaras.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to claim you're married, you should change your name to his last name, not a random last name.
Well, I didn't know Conte was her last name from her previous marriage. I just found that out like a week or two ago.
Didn't know she was previously
Yeah.
married. Yeah, I learn something new every day.
Yep.
But I don't know. I'm over them. I've even stopped watching Sammy's vlog. I just can't deal with it anymore.
I'm gonna tune in the next week because they took this week off and they posted a picture of them two with Cody Rhodes at the wedding. So I'm gonna tune in and see what that's about.
Well, yeah, but past that, I mean,
I know.
there's no A's in the chat anymore. The vlog titles, crap.
Well, I was kind of a little over the vlog crew anyways. I thought it needed a change, but I don't know. I've moved on to other vlogs for the time being.
Well, yeah, but I mean, of your vlog crew, you don't have Alan Angels anymore.
No.
Fuego's doing whatever Fuego's doing. Solo's off doing whatever Solo's doing.
He was one of the groomsmen in the wedding.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because they're friends. I'm surprised there wasn't a whole vlog crew section together. I mean, we were just getting the boy band back together, and then Alan Angels goes and gets released. So, yeah, I haven't been able to follow it here lately.
No, it hadn't been as entertaining.
36 minutes of BTE, though.
Yeah.
I guess when Kenny Omega comes back after a year.
Yep, you have to show the whole match, pretty much.
Yeah, I kind of guiltily skipped through that. It's like, I already seen it. I know what happens. I don't need to watch another 20 minutes of it.
Right.
But that's still one of my favorite vlogs to watch.
It's still good. It's not what it once was, but it's still good, and it's got its moments.
Yep. All right, Tanner. The champion has not joined us at this point.
I don't think we're going to get a champion sighting tonight, which is all right. As long as he's here next week, that's all that matters. Because
he better be.
I'm ready to take him down.
Otherwise, I will have to read his predictions on his behalf.
Yes.
And if he cannot make his predictions, well, then we'll have to crown an interim KOP champion.
Yeah. Yes.
Between you and I, and we'll bring back the old belt.
There we go.
Anyway, rating for tonight's show.
This was a tough one. I enjoyed tonight's show. I thought it was really fast paced. I thought it moved by very quickly. But I've rated the last 2 weeks so high that I couldn't put this one up to where those two were. 7.8.
You still went higher than me.
And I don't know why I even put it that low. Thinking back on that, I enjoyed pretty much everything on the show. And a lot of it's intrigue. It's got me intrigued now going forward. But I don't know. It just didn't feel like it was a home run like the last 2 weeks. But I'm more excited for the pay-per-view than I was. So I don't know. I don't know why I went 7.8. I knew I wasn't going to put in the 8s again or in the 9s.
I went 7.6. The outcomes, mind you, there were some that I picked, but there were some things that just, again, Moxley's great. His promo drug on a little too long for me. You can only say my time is now so many times before you should be going, you can't see me, and walking off with your spinner belt.
Throwback.
Yeah. And the Jericho Garcia Danielson was a little too long for me.
And we did forget, or unless you mentioned it and I didn't hear you, Hager attacked Danielson, setting up a match between them next week on Dynamite.
I did not mention that because I glossed over that because I don't care for Hager.
I don't think anybody does.
He is a sports entertainer.
Mm-hmm.
Until he goes over to that other thing that he does, where he's a fighter.
MMA, which I saw a lot of people referencing CM Punk's UFC career tonight. So,
his matches lasted about as long as they did in tonight's match. So, but hey, I wasn't gonna go there.
I will. I don't care.
That's because you're a heel now.
Yes, I am.
That's why you're wearing the Wolfpack inspired KOP gear,
which you can get and a link on any of our social media channels.
I was gonna get there.
I'm switching up your outro this week.
Jeez.
I am the heel. I'm taking over, making you
God.
think on the fly, and
God.
because of that, you're going first for the wrestler tonight too.
All right. I already had him picked. Kip Sabian.
Oh, okay. All
The
right.
dude returned. He dropped back. He fooled everybody. I mean, how long has that kid been kidnapped?
Years.
Maybe this entire time when everybody's like, oh, there's Kip, there's Kip, there's Kip. Maybe it was actually this poor kidnapped kid.
Could have been. Could have been.
So who you got?
Well, the easy answer, John Moxley, but I'm not doing that.
Yeah. Because that's the cowardly move.
I want to say Dax, but I feel like I've given it to Dax a lot. I'm going to give it to somebody I've never gave it to. Don't know if I ever will again. Colton Gunn.
Wow. All right.
He beat his father.
No.
He beat a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, for a pissant t-shirt company. Oh,
Yeah, exactly.
Wait. Wrong Hall of Famer.
he was dirty to get the win, but good. I mean, he beat his Hall of Fame dad. Enough to say.
Yeah. I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
And I don't know, like I said, I don't know when I'll ever pick him again for Wrestler of the Night. So.
If you ever will.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? But Colton Gunn could be done wrestling in 6 months.
Or he could be the heavyweight champ in 3 years. I don't know.
Yeah. But, I got to say, I love the fact that Danhausen started referring to them as the ass boys, and then the Acclaim started doing it, and now everybody does it.
Yep. It's beautiful.
Even Billy does it.
Yeah. And, man, they claimed. It's just been awesome how they've got over. You saw the build kind of within the last year, and it just got bigger and bigger. And then Tony's like, all right, we gotta switch them face. We can't have them heels any longer.
Even as heels, they were so far over.
That's why it got to the point where it's like, we got to flip them.
Well, yeah. I mean, eventually you've got to just realize that you've got talent that needs to be another way. And we saw that with Ricky Starks even here recently.
And I think you'll have talents go the other way.
Oh, I think we'll start seeing that soon.
I think
too.
CM Punk's going the other way, from babyface to heel. So,
yeah, it'll come. It'll come upon his return. All right. Well, I don't know. Should I wrap this thing?
Yeah, I don't really have any other final thoughts except, hopefully the champ's listening and enjoying his belt for one more week because. Come next Sunday, September 4th, I'm taking it off of him, and I'm finally getting that belt. And I'm going to keep it through 2022. So neither of you boys are getting off me until 2023.
Well, okay, because you're not going to defend it if you manage to somehow win it. If you manage to win it next weekend, we both know you're not going to defend it till January just to go, see, I closed out the year as champion.
Definitely defending it at Full Gear in November when I win it next week.
Oh, okay.
Other than Full Gear, we will see.
All right. Well, if that's the case, then you know what? If you win at Full Gear, it's you and me. Full Gear has been a good show for me so far. I'm gonna get my baby back.
All good things must come to an end.
Yeah, my title reign ended.
And your streak of good showings at Full Gear is gonna end, and I'm telling you, I'm getting that KOP predictions title off ship next Sunday, September 4th, all out.
Okay. So if you aren't following the Kicking Out podcast on social media, go do so at Kicking Out Pod. So that way next Sunday you can follow along as we see who really is the champion come the end of All Out.
It's gonna be me.
All right, Justin. Jeez. Anyway, so go follow the Kicking Out podcast on all social media. I've said it like 3 times now, but hey, why not do it one more time? It's at Kicking Out Pod. Be sure to listen to the Kicking Out podcast everywhere you listen to your podcasts. And if that happens to be Apple Podcast, give us that 5-star rating. We want to be the 5-star KOP podcast. 5-star KOP. You can get us there. All you got to do, go give us that 5-star review. We greatly appreciate it. It'll help us climb through the rankings so that we can one day be the number 1 All Elite Wrestling podcast. Go follow Tanner Lee at TannerLee92 on all social media. Go follow the KOP Predictions Champion at the Shep27. I think that's right.
You got it.
And yeah, it's on Twitter there for him. And follow myself at Paul Zartman 921 on all social media. Don't forget, anytime you go to a Kicking Out Podcast social media page, there are two different merch stores in our descriptions. You can get a shirt like Tanner's got, or you can get some of the older shirts that are only available on our original store, and they look very similar to the logo hanging behind Tanner there. If you haven't seen that, it's also the podcast logo when you find us on all your podcasts. So if you're listening and can't visually see the sign hanging behind Tanner, it's the same one that you see when you like our pages. So there you have it. Join us again next week as Tanner and Shep make their predictions for All Out. I will be in the middle, mediating, keeping track, making sure nobody's throwing any chairs or slamming tables or slamming anybody through tables and all that good stuff that a true moderator is supposed to do. Anyway, so join us again next week as we make the predictions and kick out yet another podcast.